All right, let's talk other duties assigned. Now, you have seen it on a contract. If you worked in sports, you get your list of responsibilities, role and responsibility, what they need you to do. And there's that bullet point at the bottom that says other duties assigned. Now, this could be a source of contention for a lot of people. I've heard that's not in my job description. Man, that really don't have nothing to do with what I want to do in my career. But today, I am talking to you about how other duties assigned can provide value to you in your career, specifically if you're working in player development and specifically if you're working in sports. I'm going to walk you through 7 scenarios where I had another or other duty assigned and how it benefited me in my career. So we'll go through these scenarios. I'll call them assignments. I'll tell you the story and then I'll tell you the benefit. Some of these will have some videos that you'll be able to see, some other things as well. But do not overlook other duties assigned. There are some that can benefit you. Now, they're all not created equal. I understand that there are some that won't help you, but there are a lot that will benefit you. Hello. My name is Ed Jones II, and I am the founder of Beyond the Field, and we help you create impactful player development plans. Now, you may be watching this because you saw the title, Other Duties Assigned, and you may ask, what is player development? Player development is the enhancement of the athlete experience through holistic and intentional programming and initiatives. And I'm so excited that you're listening, and if you need help creating an impactful player development plan, hit the link in the show notes and come to my player development workshop. All right, so you heard the intro. We're gonna talk about other duties assigned. I get a lot of questions from people who want to get in player development, and they ask these questions and they talk about, I want to develop players, I want to impact players. Well, if you think you are only going to impact or develop players in this role, you are absolutely wrong. And I want you to buckle up to find out other duties or other things you will have to do, will have to do in the role. So let's get started. Assignment number 1. It was a 2018 back to school video when I was at the University of Houston. Now, the story from this was I was sitting in my office and our video department, our creative team, they came in my office. They had some things. We were kind of talking and they were like, hey, we got to do this back to school video and we can't find anybody to interview students. Would you mind doing it? And I was like, absolutely. If you know by now, this is probably 130th podcast episode that I have. I like to talk. I like to explain. I like to hear what people have to say. Matter of fact, because I like to hear what you say, let me see you hit that like button and let me know what you've learned in the comments, what you learned. Pause the video. Let me know what you've learned from the player development pod. But anyway, so I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. So they gave me I lack a better word, run a show and said, hey, we're going to go out to the campus. You're going to introduce yourself to students. We're going to go out here. We're going to make this video, ask students about their first day of school, and then we're going to put it on our Twitter, website, all that good stuff. So I was like, sweet. So we went out there and they gave me a mic, and you'll see what happened in this video if you're watching YouTube, or you will hear it if you're listening to the audio podcast. Let's check out the first day of school in 2018. Go Cougs. This is Ed Jones from Houston Football. We're going around campus today to ask students about the first day of class and the upcoming season. Go Cougs. I'm here with Tammy and Vivian here. I'm going to ask them a couple questions about the first day of school at the University of Houston. Have you guys gotten lost yet?
Definitely. Yeah.
Sibney, how's your first day been?
It's been going quite good. I mean, I kind of woke up late, but I'm a little bit lost, but I think I can find my way to my classes.
So you've already been lost. Yeah, it happens to all freshmen. So y'all are from out of state. You're here in the great city of Houston. What brought you to the University of Houston?
The art program.
The art program?
The culture.
Oh, she said the culture. Quavo, you heard that? She came to Houston for the culture. First day of class, we're at the MD Anderson Library right now. I got Christian Garcia with me. Christian, you want to tell me about your first day of classes?
It's going great, man. I'm really excited to get the school year going.
Giselle, can you tell me about your first day of class?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I'm getting like knowing the campus better, so yeah, it's going pretty good.
Are you excited for the football season also?
Of course. Go Cougs, baby. I'm all about my Cougs.
All about your Cougs.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to see you in the student
Oh,
section.
you're going to see me in the student section getting wild, you know what I'm saying? We're going to go ham this season.
What's your favorite part of game day here at Houston?
I like seeing all the red everywhere, and it's really fun.
You can go with your friends and enjoying some good college football, definitely.
Good. Which player are you guys looking forward to see this season?
Isn't it obvious? Ed Oliver, duh.
Hey, Kazi, you excited for the semester?
Of course, man. I'm about to graduate in December.
Okay.
Looking forward to a great semester.
I love football, so I'm gonna be that chick in the student section going crazy.
We down with that. We down with that.
Hey.
Longest in they coming with
Absolutely.
Yeah. Y'all gonna be holding down the student section. You heard it here from Christian. Come to games. Happy first day of school. Go Cougs. Go Cougs, baby. Go Cougs.
All right, there it is. You saw me in action. If there's any cable channel or television networks that need someone to interview, hey, I'm there. Red carpet, maybe not. It's all good. I'll create the lane myself. But anyway, that was really exciting for me, and it was fun. I learned a lot. But there's 3 major benefits that came from that. And the first benefit was it allowed my communication skill set to be seen at a mass level. I like communicating. I like talking to people. I've been a teacher. I've been a coach before I got into player development. It's always been my deal. I've been in a room and they'd be like, hey, Ed, can you go represent the group? Or I'll just be sitting there like, I ain't saying nothing today. And they'd be like, Ed, what do you have to think? What do you have to say about this? Or can you lead this group? And so as I've been pushed into that role, my communication skills have grown over my life. So this is a great opportunity for those skills or that skill set to be seen at a mass level. Once again, this wasn't just my Twitter. This is the University of Houston football program Twitter, right? So you're talking over 100,000 followers, and then the University of Houston itself liked it, retweeted it. So now you're talking about another 100,000. Who knows how many people saw it in Houston? Houston's a big media market. You know, who knows? Somebody might watch this YouTube video and say, hey, you know what? Would you do this for us? Whatever it may be. But my skill set was shown at a massive level. My coach saw it. Other coaches saw it. Recruits saw it, right? You got to recruit them. My players saw it. People at the university saw it. Some of our community partners saw it. Once again, that was a huge benefit for me personally and professionally. Number 2, it showed the diversity of our campus. If you saw that video, that is the true diversity of the University of Houston. The city of Houston, where I'm from, shout out to the city of Houston, is a very diverse city. And so we always mention that when recruiting. There were parents that wanted their children, their sons, when they came to football, to be in an environment where there was diversity of thought, diversity of people, diversity of experiences. And you literally just watched it. People were able to see that in the video. That was a huge recruiting tool, huge tool for us at the University of Houston. We use it. When there were, students to say, hey, I'm looking for this. Okay, sweet. Here's this video. The university used it. It was just incredible watching the video, and we didn't even purposely go out like, hey, we're gonna go pick this, ethnic group or this student. If it be a diversity of age or whatever it may be, experience on campus. We had freshmen, sophomores, seniors. Like, it was just a natural, diverse opportunity that we were able to show, and so that was a huge plus, a huge benefit for us in recruiting. Our head coach loved it. A lot of athletes loved it. A lot of moms loved it. Moms of players we were recruiting, they loved it. And so it was a great deal for us. And the last thing, it was an opportunity to support my creative team. My creative team, they did an incredible job. Shout out to all the creatives I work with in my entire career. They've been incredible overall. But the creative team, they get a lot of stuff thrown on them. And this was one of them where it gets thrown last minute because somebody has an idea. Nobody looks at their calendar and they're just like, hey, get this done, right? And so it was an opportunity for me to support them. They didn't have a lot of time. They couldn't go find the person who normally did it for, UHTV or whatever you would call it. They had to find somebody in the building. They found me. It was a perfect opportunity for me to support them and show that not only did I appreciate them, but I had their back. Assignment number two is advanced travel. So before I dive into it, some of you all may be sitting there saying, so what's advanced travel or advanced travel? What happens is when you play a regular game on a Saturday, someone leaves. The team normally makes it on Friday. So if you play an away game on a Saturday, the team normally arrives on Friday. There's a staff member, normally someone from the operations staff, that advances on Thursday to make sure that everything is okay for the team. You're talking to the hotel, you're talking to the airport or hangar or wherever you land. You're talking to the buses, the people who have to drive you, the escort, the police. You're talking to the facilities when you get there, the stadium, the people who bring the food, the meals. It was a lot involved in advanced travel. And so I had this opportunity brought to me by Tori Tako. Shout out to Mama T. Tori, hey, miss you, Tori, who I work with at the University of Kansas together. We actually worked together at Houston twice. I was her intern, and then we were co-workers at University of Houston, and then I got a chance to help her come to Kansas, so that was awesome. But anyway, she came to me just during the COVID season, and she said, hey, Ed, I can't advance because COVID was a lot. Anybody that knew anything about football, we had players that could go play, the players who couldn't play, coaches who couldn't be there, quarantine this, contact tracing this, that. So it was a lot operationally, and she had to stay to make sure that the trip could go well, all these different things. And so what happened was, you know what? Actually, I know exactly. I didn't even think about this when I wrote the newsletter. The newsletter's in the show notes. What happened that week was our head coach had got contact traced, and so he couldn't go to the game. And so we had an interim coach, so she had to stay to help the interim coach. And so there was a lot of responsibilities that she had to help with. So she said, I cannot go because I have to help the interim. So I was like, she talked to me. I didn't want to do it because it's a lot of organization. I was like, I don't want to mess up. And I finally ended up going there. I got to advance. It was a cool opportunity. If you looked at the newsletter, there's a picture of me stuffed in a jet bathroom, but it was a great opportunity. And so here are some of the benefits, the 3 benefits I got from advancing on travel. Number 1, it built trust with my operations staff. Tori and the other people in operations, chief of staff, ADs, they were able to trust me. They prepared me. I looked, we went over it. I knew what I had to do, but it built trust to where, hey, if this ever happened again, Ed will have to do advance. We're good with Ed doing the advance. And guess what happened? Later that year, I advanced to Texas Tech. We had a game at Texas Tech, and I left on Thursday to make sure everything was okay before the team got there on Friday. We'll talk about that a little later. But it built a trust with the operations staff. Number 2, it was a new professional experience for me. Like, I know what goes into a football program and what makes things happen, but when you're sitting there doing all these check-ins, you're meeting with this person, meeting with that person, making sure this room's set for this person or this staff member, you got to have this. It just brought an entire new professional experience. Just meeting new people, talking to new people, understanding people's roles fully, because you got to help set this thing up for them. So it was a new professional experience. It was a really, really great opportunity for myself to just dive into that operational side of athletics. And then number 3, you get to meet other professionals. So I talked about Texas Tech. At the time, Jess Gray, who's with the Detroit Lions, she was at Texas Tech, and we had saw each other from N4A calls and all this. I let her know, hey, Jess, I'm going to be in Lubbock on Thursday. Would love to meet with you either Thursday or Friday. And we actually met, and we were supposed to be 5 minutes, but we talked for 45 minutes. And it was just an incredible opportunity to meet an incredible professional in this space. And I got to know her. We built trust, and she's been a 2-time speaker at the Player Development Conference. Can't wait to have you on a Player Development pod. That one's going to be in person. But yeah, it was an incredible experience to meet other professionals. And so that helped me out big time in ways I never knew. Meeting Jess and getting to know Jess helped me out in ways I never knew, which once again, you can read about in the newsletter, which is in the show notes. And so if you have opportunity, once again, this is another other duty assigned that created massive benefit in my life. This podcast is brought to you by the Player Development Plan Cohort. Yes, we have 3 cohorts that you could join with others to learn how to create a player development plan that creates impact. We have the beginners cohort. That is a 4-week, 6 objective cohort. We have the advanced cohort, which is an 8-week, 15 objective cohort. And we have the ultimate cohort, which is a 12-week, 25 objective cohort. Once again, all these objectives will help you create a player development plan that will impact the athletes that you serve. If you're interested, please click the link in the show notes that says Player Development Cohorts. Assignment number 3, student functions. Yes, student functions. They could be orientations, they could be visits, they could be international orientations, whatever it may be, but your campus is going to have functions where they're bringing in prospective students or the new students or graduate students, whatever it may be. There is some type of student function. And what happened was one day I was at my computer and the marketing department of our athletic department reached out and said, hey, We normally have someone go and they represent the sports program or athletics. Could you go? This was pretty cool because when I was a student, I used to do new hire for athletics. So when I was an intern at the University of Houston in the sports marketing department, look at how everything comes back around. I was an intern and I would go to the new hire and talk about athletics and talk about here's your free ticket and talk about this and that and all the sports. And we would eventually go or occasionally go to student orientations and pass out flyers, posters and everything. So this was like I don't want to say deja vu, but this was like a throwback moment for me where I'm being asked to engage student population about athletics. So absolutely, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Now, I definitely talked about all our athletic programs, but you know which one I spent the most time on. The University of Houston football team. Let's go, because I work for the football team. So this is a natural opportunity for me to talk about our program. And here are the 3 benefits that came from that opportunity. Campus relationships. The campus relationships. So from that email, the marketing department connected me with someone on campus that said, hey, can you come out? These are the times to come out. Can we meet? This is what we go over. And as time went on, I had the opportunity to build relationships. If you look at the newsletter, once again, it's in the show notes, there's a picture of me with a panel. Now, I was the one that walked down because I'm energetic. I got to get out. I can't sit in a seat, which is amazing because I sit in seats for this podcast. But anyway, you meet different departments. So I meet this person that's in finance. I meet this person that's at the registrar here. I meet somebody from the health center. I meet somebody from the writing center, whatever it may be. You build these relationships with people from around the campus because you're sharing with students that they're sharing with as well. The second benefit, student section growth. Now I'm gonna talk about sports. So of course I want these students to come to the game. We need you at the game. So after I give my spiel, I'm like, hey, here we go. I'm getting them hyped. This is what we do at the games. Who will I see at the games? They all raise their hands. Hey, who wants to go to games? They all raise their hands. Hey, who wants a shirt? I throw shirts. They all raise their hands. Guess what? The game is free and I want to see you in the student section. We cannot do it without y'all. We play for y'all. I'm hyping them up, whatever. What happened? They came to the games. It was crazy coming out of pregame when we run back into the locker room and a student, maybe it's a newcomer, they would come and they say, hey, coach, I'm here. I'm at the game. I told you I was going to come. That was awesome. But I was able to have a organic opportunity to tell students to come to our games. And then the third benefit, this is one I didn't think about when I was doing it, was I was able to get 2 interns or 2 student workers from the experience. This crazy story, but it's so true. I was at the international orientation and I'm talking about athletics. 2 young ladies come up to me, like literally back to back. They asked me questions and this one young lady's like, I'm coming from England and I want to talk about this and I want to work in sports. And, you know, there's something about athletes. They're not just athletes, they're people. And I'm sitting there, we're having a conversation. I'm like, you want to intern for me? She's like, yeah, it actually makes sense. So she interned for me. She actually wrote about her experience in her thesis. It was an incredible opportunity. The other student, she was right behind her. Her brother played football in the Houston area. And she was just like, yeah, you know, my brother played, you know, but and it just, he's not in a good place. I want him to find this. I wish he could find a job. And I was like, I can help. Would you mind being an intern as well? Yes. And so shout out to Cara and Dose. Barbara, y'all know who you are. But that was pretty awesome, getting 2 interns from a student orientation, and they crushed it, absolutely crushed it in the role. The fourth assignment I got was Hawk Talk. So this was our coach's weekly radio show. And so our SIDs, shout out to sports information directors. I work with so many, shout out to all of y'all. Thank you so much for what you do and have done for sports. But anyway, they're like, hey, coach has this weekly radio show. We need to fill a spot. We would love to fill it with player development. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Y'all know what my answer was. It was, yeah, sure. All the Texas came out of me in Kansas. But anyway, so had that opportunity to go to Hawk Talk and talk about, you know, player development. What else is there need to do? So what I want you to do is I want you to check out this video right here of my time. It's a short snippet of me talking about player development, or a short snippet of that talk. I will put a full one out here in a little bit, but check it out.
If you're watching on TV,
Our next featured guest, Ed Jones, was waving the wheat during that highlight call. You figured that out. You're a Houston guy originally, but you've been around long enough to know this is what we do.
So I figured out what waving the wheat was in my freshman year. I went to University of Houston, and we played Kansas in the I can't think of it. The bowl.
Fort Worth Bowl.
Fort Worth Bowl.
Yeah.
And if anybody remembers that game, there was a lot of waving of the wheat, and I was like, man, I remember looking at the stands like, man, what is going on? So it's good to be on this side of it because that was not a fun time for me.
Jason Swanson was the offensive MVP that day. Kansas won under Mark Mangino. Great to have you with us. We got about 20 minutes with you tonight to break down what you bring to the equation. And I love the preview that Coach Miles gave us, saying that there's only two people that coach the entire team, him and you. So give me your own job description of what the player development director does.
It's interesting he said that because whenever I talk to people, a lot of people are interested because this is a position that's pretty new to college football. And I've said that before. Like, I see myself as the head coach off the field. So it was awesome to hear our head coach say that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. It's the overall development of all of 120 of our guys. Our coaches do an incredible job with the skill development, not only in the weight room, not only in the film, on the practice field. And I'm responsible for the overall development of them as men off the field. And so we do it through 3 ways, which I know we'll talk about beyond the field. We do it through personal wellness, community impact, and career development.
I love that. So, yes, we teased Beyond the Field. That's the name of the program you've implemented here. Give us Beyond the Field 101.
Yeah, so basically I'm a marketing minor, and when I was at the University of Houston, I was a high school coach before I got the job there. And I didn't want to just be your basic player development department. So I was like, let's create a program. And so the name Beyond the Field came, and the 3 things I thought were very important to a college football player would be their own personal wellness, their impact in the community, and their development and careers later on in their life.
And that could be getting a guy on LinkedIn. That could be establishing his personal brand. That could be finding out what charitable causes speak to their heart and equipping them with the opportunity to serve.
So we have a Beyond the Field win this week. Cole Brungart, our kicker from here, I believe he went to Lawrence High School, he just accepted a full-time position with H&RY Logistics in Overland Park, Kansas. And so he'll start in January. So that's, and Cole's incredible. We helped out a little bit with that. A lot of it has to deal with Cole, but seeing that, those are things that, transferring those skills that he's learning every single day as a Jayhawk football player. And I know he's going to take it with him into his career and dominate in the logistics and further on. I can see Cole being a CEO. If you ever met Cole, he's straight to the point.
I love that. And you called it a Beyond the Field win.
Correct.
You hear head coaches all the time talk about developing not only winners on the field or on the court, but winners in life. Mm-hmm. And a lot of coaches at the end of their illustrious careers say, yeah, but I look at what they did 30 years later. Yeah. The husbands and fathers they became, the business leaders, the community leaders they turned out to be. And that literally now is your job.
Yes. And we're able to impact that while they're here now.
To plant those seeds.
Absolutely. To plant those seeds and to see a little bit of it grow before they graduate. So that's fun. I think it's called the bud of the seed. So
yeah, no doubt.
Isn't that awesome to have the opportunity on your head coach's weekly show to not only do it to people listening on the radio, but everybody that's in Johnny's Tavern, shout out to Johnny's Tavern, sitting there listening to this? That's awesome. And 3 of the benefits from that opportunity was, number 1, you heard it a little bit in the beginning of the video, my head coach stamped me. My head coach went up and said, there's 2 people that coach the entire team, me and Ed Jones. Like, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm walking in off the energy that he gave, and it's crazy because I told people I always wanted to be a head coach. When I got into college football, I was like, I'm going to be a position coach in 5 years, a head coach in 15 years. And so after hearing him talk, I was like, after a couple years in a role, I was like, you know what, I'm really the head coach off the field. But then my head coach actually said that. That was incredible to have my head coach stamp me. Shout out to Coach Miles. That is still to this day one of the nicest, empowering moments I've ever had in this role from a head coach. The second benefit, I was able to talk about the role. I clearly talked about the role. In that video, you heard me talk about what it is I do, why it is important, and how it impacts the players. Once again, whenever you're communicating player development, the role, you want to talk about what you do, why it's important, and the impact that you're able to make. I was able to do that, and so many people were able to hear that, including my athletic director, right? Including the other athletic directors. So whenever you get an opportunity, I have the ability to explain. Y'all bring me in to talk about what I do, because player development is one of the mysteries. I still work with people to this day who probably don't know what it is, right? Because people just like, oh, you just hang out with players and build relationships. No, this is actually what I do. Like I have a role, it's important, and these are the results of my role. So you give me that opportunity, I'm taking it 100% of the time. And the last benefit, the third benefit from that talk is I was able to highlight players. We talked about Sam Burt's recycle campaign. We talked about Kenny Logan and how he's grown as a leader. I was able to talk about, which players were going to be a coach and who would be a president, and just talk about our players, highlight what they do. This is huge. At the time, we weren't finding much success on the field. So if someone is spending money, if a booster's spending money, they may say, well, what is the benefit of me spending money? What impact does my dollar have? Or what impact does a fan showing up to the game have? Well, you get to hear it. You learn about the players. You learn about what they're doing and how they're growing as men. It's pretty simple. And so once again, that was an opportunity I could not pass up. Now, if you have heard anything, in this podcast that has helped you, that has given you more clarity on player development, please press that like button. Press that like button, subscribe, and share. Also, in that video, you heard me talk about my role in player development. You heard me break it down. If you need help breaking down your role, if you need help creating a plan, click the link in the show notes. Come to the Player Development Plan workshop and get the help you need to clearly define everything that you do in the role, or will do for those who want to be in a role. All right, the fifth assignment. This is a talent show, the Jayhawk variety show to be exact. But the story behind this, pretty simple. I used to meet with our student athlete development department, and this is very important for you all who are in the role who are team facing. So I did football student athlete development or football player development. My athletes were football only, but there's a student athlete development department that develops all the athletes, including the football players that I had. And at some places that relationship can cause conflict, be contentious, things like that. This was not the case actually wherever I've been, specifically at KU. I would go to their staff meetings. I would tell them what we're doing in football. So at a staff meeting, they're talking about the Jayhawk variety show. And they say, hey, Ed, we need a judge. Would you love to be a judge? Yeah, I would love to be a judge. I'll help out. What do we need to do? So we did this variety show that happens every single year. It was awesome. I had a great experience. Some of the athletes didn't like the scores that I gave them. It's okay. Some of my players didn't like my scores. It's okay, but it was a fun time. So here are the 3 benefits that I received in my career from working the Jayhawk variety show. Number 1, department teamwork. We worked together. It was an opportunity for me to work with the student athlete development department in something that they were doing once again. They knew I had their back. So they were able to come and ask me, hey, Ed, we would love for you to come and be a judge. We're working together. The department sees that, hey, the guy in football and the student athlete development department work together. When they see that, guess who gets more resources? Both of us. So we both get to help athletes, right? And so the first benefit was that departmental teamwork. Number 2, engaging with all the athletes. I got to engage with all the athletes. This was a student athlete development event with all the athletes. I got to engage. I got to have fun. Some of these athletes I knew from walking past them, but I got to judge them. They're like, come on, man. You're killing us with the score, whatever it may be. It was awesome engaging with the athletes. And number 3, it was an opportunity for myself and my athletes to see each other outside of our football building. That's important. We normally see each other in the football building. That's where we see each other. I'm normally telling them what to do or how they're doing. But now we're engaged in a space where they're coming to check it out or participate, and I'm coming and I'm judging or participating. It was fun. They were like, boo. So it was a great opportunity to just kind of see them in their, non-football affiliated space, and for them to see me in a non-football affiliated space as well. The 6th assignment, operational duties. When I was at Baylor University, our director of football operations had a week where he was out. And so I had to pick up ticketing. I had to pick up a few operational things, and the biggest one was ticketing. And shout out to all you all who do ticketing. I realize that me waiting to the last minute is an absolute pain, because in doing tickets for staff, I thought it was hard to get players to turn in their tickets. Staff is a whole nother monster. It is unreal, like how staff just can't get it in. And you have to, hey coach, can I get your tickets? Hey coach, because once again, if their people come, they don't get tickets, guess who they ride? Man, Jones, you say you're gonna get tickets, whatever, coach, I need you to get tickets. Coach, send in your tickets. But anyway, crazy story. I helped out with that. But it even, that experience helped, because in 2 weeks after that, one of our assistant coaches got the head job at Texas Tech. Shout out to Coach McGuire. Shout out to Quentin Jordan. Shout out to the Texas Tech staff, everybody I know that worked with me at Baylor, Bookbinder, Blanche, Nance, Harrison, Clint, so many of y'all. Shout out to y'all. And the jersey y'all just dropped are fire. But anyway, he went to Texas Tech, and so he took Q, who was our director of operations. So guess who's doing tickets? So for our bowl game, our championship game, Big 12 championship, I'm doing tickets for players, staff tickets, staff hotels. Once we won the Big 12 championship, we're going to Sugar Bowl. Now I'm doing the bowl suite for players, the bowl suite for staff, figuring that out, doing some other stuff with tickets for the Sugar Bowl. And we got more tickets, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. And I had a great experience there. Now, in a vulnerable moment, to keep it very authentic, once again, I always want to tell you the good stuff about player development, but I also want to give you the real. At Baylor, when I had to turn in all the stuff I was doing, the date to turn it in was December 16th. The date to turn it in was December 16th. I turned it in December 15th. That night, as I was leaving, said goodbye to people, came in the next morning after signing day, got fired that morning. So yeah, it happens. I turned it all in and got fired the day it was all due. No hard feelings. It is what it is. Life has moved on. And honestly, as I've reflected over the situation, it's actually made me a better person. So it all happens how God wants it to. But anyway, just want to share that with you, because I share so many good things, but there are tough things in this role, and the business can be nasty. But here are the 3 benefits from doing operational duties there. Number 1, it made me a multifaceted professional. It showed other people, that I was a multifaceted professional. So going back what I said earlier, people like, oh, Jones just builds relationships. That's all he does is hang out with the players. Well, it's like, nah, Jones actually got this stuff squared away operationally. Jones came in, he got the tickets, he got this, he did all that. And it proved to me that I was a multifaceted professional. So that was pretty cool, getting this stuff down, getting this stuff squared away, getting stuff in by deadlines, doing certain things, communicating with coaches in different ways. Okay, the text message didn't work. Let me hit him up when he works out. Okay, it didn't work out when he works out. Let me hit up his significant other. Okay, it didn't work out. Okay, the staff meeting. Hey, coaches, want to let y'all know, please get your tickets in. I want to get in. I don't want anybody to not enter the game because you did not get in tickets. Whatever it may be, it helped me become and prove to myself that I was a multifaceted professional. Number 2, it gave me more informational access to everything that was going on, so I could help student athletes in my true role of player development. So because I'm doing all this operational stuff, I'm getting all this information access of where tickets are, where can tickets be. So I may suggest, hey, what if we did it in this section? Or what if we put player guests here? What, different things like that. Just because I have more access to the information or what's needed, I was able to contribute to things that would benefit our student athletes. Well, what if we did the bowl suite here? Or what about these gifts? Or what about these times? Whatever it may be, it gave me access to that. And then the third benefit, you've heard this multiple times throughout this podcast here, is it gave me the opportunity to collaborate and, just professionally create things and do things with other professionals. So I got to collaborate and communicate, with a lot of people. So I'm talking to ticketing, I'm talking to facilities, I'm talking to billing, I'm talking to security, I'm talking to transportation, I'm talking to all these people because we got to get ready for the game, right? And so it opened up opportunity for me to communicate and collaborate, and people were able to see me as a professional in the role. And then assignment number 7, the last assignment I got that benefited me in my role and as a professional was I was able to be a filmer of practice. Yes, the COVID season happened, and you all kind of know how COVID was. If you worked in sports, you know how it was. We had student workers that were there one day, contact tracing, quarantining, out the next. So what happened was one of our departments that got hit the hardest was film, coaches video, like film in practice so coaches could watch it and help our players get better. And so they asked me to come up. They said, Jones, hey, we need you. Can you do it? So you know what? I came in, I did it, and my nickname was Joystick Jones. Check out this video real quick about Joystick Jones. Call me Joystick Jones. I'm in this thing. Hi, camera. Yes. Camera. That was me filming in the room, working the camera. It honestly was an awesome experience. It's my first time doing that since high school, my sophomore year, when I dislocated my knee. And in high school, if you were injured, you were the one filming practice. So it was a great experience to help our team. The 3 benefits, how it helped me in my role. Number 1, it helped me help coaches with the on-field development of the player. Yes, the on-field development of the player. I was taking care of the off-field development, but as I helped coaches with the on-field development, they saw me filming, I actually got to have conversations with them about the off-field development. Why? Because they now saw how I help the on-field product of our program, or the on-field output. Was I already helping it? Yes, but they were able to see it in a way that made sense to them. Number 2, it helped me zero in on players doing practice. So in a player development role, I walk around practice with a chart that's, attitude, energy, and effort. And so I look at a position group, or look at a player. Okay, I might watch the D-line this day or this practice. All right, attitude, effort, energy, boom. And I file it away, right? So when a player comes in, oh, coach, so-and-so ain't playing me, man. He don't like me, whatever. All right, cool. I can pull it out. Hey, on Monday, you didn't have great effort. Like, you were loafing, you were whatever. Your attitude wasn't great, whatever. Now, on the converse, if they did do great, I can say, you know what? I can see where you're coming from. I may have a conversation with the coach. And I've had opportunities where I've had conversations with coaches and they let me know, like, hey, yeah, he practices well, but if he could just spend some more time watching film, that would help him. The practice side isn't the part, it's the preparation for practice. So once again, I'm able to talk to that player, but this allowed me, filming allowed me to zero in. I say, hey, I was telling players, hey man, you during this drill, when you're not engaged, you don't pay attention. And this is what you get yelled at. Or during this drill, hey man, you're doing a good job. I see you improving, whatever it may be, but it gave me that opportunity. And then the last benefit it gave me the benefit to mentor student workers, right? So now, instead of, this director of player development, Ed Jones, he helping us with video, he asking us questions, he's doing things like us, right? So they got to tell me what to do because I don't know what I'm doing. So they enjoyed that. They enjoyed teaching. We're sitting in a room. You saw it in the video. It's 4 of us. We're all working the cameras in the indoor. So there's breaks. You had to show up early. Video, they show up 30 to 45 minutes early. So I'm sitting there. So we're having conversations. Once we set up, it's a 5-minute meeting. Hey, this is what we're going to do. You're going to be here. Jones, you got this. You got that. This person has this. Cool. We all get our assignments. We keep it moving. So while we're sitting there, I'm just asking questions. What are you studying? How is it? They're asking life advice. What did you do in your career? This is how I got here. Well, I like what you do. What should I do? This is what you should do. I'm able to talk to them about their life, but then they're also able to keep me abreast of what's happening with Gen Z. Hey, what is this, y'all? What does this mean? What is this? Why is this TikTok so popular? Oh, this is why, blah, 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 blah. So it's a great opportunity to interact with our student workers and provide mentorship to them. And so, hey, great opportunity. Joystick Jones, I made the most of it. And now for our impactful end. That's the podcast. I hope that you got value out of it. I hope you have seen how other duties can benefit your career. Now, all other duties are not equal. They may be different. Things happen. I get it. But I hope that you see how it can help your career and help you in the role. And even if you're not in the role and you want to get in player development, look at the role that you're in and see what different other duties assigned can help prepare you to build relationships in the player development role and get in this role and make it happen. Do it, make it happen, find benefit of it, chart it, take note of it like I did, and find the best in the other duties assigned. It can truly help your career. Well, you know what I always say, go out and create generational impact. Don't wait, create that generational impact today. But before you go, make sure you if you got anything from this episode, like, subscribe, and share, and check out this video right here about the 10 questions you need to ask or you need to answer before you get into player development. God bless. Have a good one. Other duties assigned. Yeah, other duties assigned. Yeah.